All right. Well, I guess we should start. For anybody, well, we have two or three, I think, new students onto our call today. But my name is Maria Kelly. I'm the president of CCC. Before like going into what CCC is really quick. Does anybody have any questions about CCC?
You just like briefly go over like what the goal of it is, I guess, just like overall.
Mhm. So basically, as a student org, we strive to advocate for foster, independent, and basically non-traditional students, as we're defining it. And essentially, you don't have to fit in that label. More, we're trying to help students that are enduring food and housing insecurity, housing displacement, and a lot of issues that honestly, especially with COVID, that are arising within a lot of students, not even with the labels we've given. And all in all, just like helping students in need. That's honestly what we want to do. And this semester, our goal is to educate both ourselves and you guys. I'm learning a lot as we're going through this process and spread awareness. And hopefully next semester, next year, we can get in more initiatives, more hands-on work, which we were able to do. And Brianna really got that rolling last year, and she'll introduce herself next. But we did a lot of like food drives and stuff like that. And I can also send you our video, our CCC video that explains like who we are. It's really cute. Bree worked really hard on it. So yeah, but that's a little about us. And Bree?
Hey everyone, I'm Bree. I'm the secretary and the treasurer of CCC. I just make videos and email people, to be honest. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to see new people. Maria pretty much said it perfectly, so I don't really have much to add, but I'm so excited to see everyone.
Okay, so also she does a lot more than that. Just like she literally is like the powerhouse to this. So just got to give her all the creds that she deserves. But real quick, before we kind of go further, if everybody's comfortable, if we could introduce ourselves. If you want, you can say your name, major, and then your pronouns, please, if you're comfortable, and then a high and low of the week. Or you can just do a high, or you can just do low. You could do both, whatever you guys are comfortable with.
I'll go first. So, hey everyone, I'm here because Bree is one of my very good friends. We met during orientation, and I am very happy to be here and be supporting her. So, my name is Dariana Moda. I am a physiology and neurobiology major. I'm a second year. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And a high of this week is I got new products for my hair. I got a diva cut, so I was really happy about that. And then low is probably that I have like a lot of exams coming up.
Thank you. Also relatable.
We should like popcorn it. So like I'll go next and then I'll pick someone else. My name's Alyssa. I'm a communication and sociology major. I am a second year, and high this week is that I did an exam on Tuesday and I did really well on it. But low this week is that I have another exam tomorrow and I don't know how that's gonna work out. So I'll pass it to Jalen.
Hi everyone, I'm Jalen. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a sophomore, and high this week is probably, I got done with one exam. I don't know what my grade is yet, but I think it was good. And a low this week is I have an essay due tomorrow. Popcorn, Lauren.
All right. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm an art major. My pronouns are she, her, hers. A high from this week is that I've finally been able to like reach out to friends from my classes and make friends with people in my classes, even though they're all online. And a low from this week, I was behind on some work, but I got caught up. So I guess there was a low that ended up going well in the end. Jasmine.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine. I'm a sophomore. She, hers, and her. I'm a finance major, but we'll see how long I go with that. I don't know if I feel like doing that anymore. It's like just numbers, and I realize I'm not really into that. So yeah. And then the high this week, I'd say I redid my braids. So like that was good because last week I was getting up every morning trying to do my hair, and I was like another half hour of my day. So I was glad to get that done. And like below, I took my psych exam yesterday, and I didn't know a thing on the exam. So it was like, oh, it was so bad. Like I had all the notes, but it was not there. The answer is not there. So I'm gonna popcorn Rupa.
Hi guys. My name is Rupa. I am a sophomore this year. I'm actually from UConn, Stanford. I don't know if anyone else is from Stanford, but I am undecided right now. I'm thinking of doing human development and family studies. Honestly, like really popular second to business in Stanford. I really love it. I don't know, I'm hesitating to like declare it. So I guess that's been a high, like kind of learning that that's something that I would like to do, like, but a low this week has been that I'm kind of like behind on school because I really like online school is stressing me out to the max. And my pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Thank you, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that we are able to be here today and meet each other. You literally just reminded me of the meme. Has anybody seen it where it's like, I feel like I have an assignment like stuck under the tab on Husky CT or like stuff like that? That's literally how I felt throughout this entire process. But thank you again. And so I'm going to share my screen with you guys to present. I made slides. And today we're going to talk about education sustainability, which I had no idea what that was up until a week ago. And more like we're just talking about education and the impact that has. I'm so sorry. That's really loud. I'm in the dorms right now. All right. So education sustainability. There's no prezi or like mentee or anything on this. I really just wanted to foster a conversation, especially that we can align with our lives or our stories, experiences. So the first question, what has your education experience been like, positive or negatives?
I feel like my overall educational experience has definitely been like a positive one, in which like teachers really tried to help me and foster my growth. But like I could also look at the negatives and like see like the lack of diversity that came with the teaching, the lack of understanding that came with like my teachers. But overall, I think my teachers have always wanted me to succeed, which I'm thankful for, because some people don't get that.
Yeah, I also had like pretty good teachers, like all the way up. Even now, like all of my professors are like really positive and like they don't try to put you down on purpose, which I know some other teachers do. I just had the opposite experience with Jalen because just my school in general has been really opening just because I live in a diverse town. So there's more like understanding. Like all of our teachers were white, which was like kind of problematic, but like just them being in a school full of other races made them a little bit more like, I don't know, open.
I could agree as well. A lot of my teachers have been very, well, not all of my teachers, but for the most part, there's been some teachers that have been really like strict, and not in terms of obviously like race and stuff like that, but like in terms of like actual school and like not really being there to like support kids as much and just like throwing everything at you and being like, here, I have 2 hours of office hours and that's all you get kind of thing. But that's only happened like once or twice. For the most part, everything else has been good.
That's awesome. Thank you. Does anybody else want to share? When I say that, I don't like when people do that on the Zoom calls, like my professor, and then nobody shares and she just sits there for like 3 minutes. So I usually am just going to move on. So I hope that isn't disrespectful to anybody. And then I don't know if Bree wants to share her experience, but personally, the reason why I wanted to do this in the first place was because I've moved around so many times within Connecticut and in Florida, meaning I've also gone to different schools. I've seen how schools function in different towns with different people, different populations. And honestly, education became my safe haven. And it was like, I felt like it was like almost my way out of things. So I don't know if it would be a positive or negative experience depending on the school I went to, not gonna lie. But I think overall it's like something that saved me. So yeah, I don't know if Bree, you wanna add any of your experience?
I would say that my educational experience has been unique. Doing art for most of my life, I'm pretty much the only one who looks like me or sounds like me. So it's been interesting and unique, challenging, a little bit scary when everyone's singing Black spirituals and they don't know what it means, and you're just kind of like, it's been interesting. I wouldn't say that it's been negative. I think it's taught me patience, how to work with different people. Yeah, much so like Maria, although I didn't really move schools. Once I was in one conservatory, I stayed there. Just having an escape from things that went on in my personal life. It was always education, which for me was art. But I know that's very different from a lot of people, since a lot of people don't really pursue the fine arts, but that's been my experience.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone sharing their experience. So next question, but what does sustainability mean to you? Just right off the top of your head.
I think more of like environmental things. I didn't really like think education sustainability was a thing. Like I thought it was more of like, I just think more of environmental sustainability.
Just stability in general.
I thought of something like kind of just that lasts like a long time, something that's like worthwhile and lasting.
Maybe like keeping a certain routine or something that's beneficial.
Thank you. I also, honestly, I had to look it up at first, like, because I didn't even know like what sustainability meant. And as we'll find later, it means a lot of different things depending on what you use it for, or what concept you put it towards. So our next slide. So basically, just really quick, I don't want to just like read right off of it. But what Education for Sustainable Development does is empowers people to change the way they think and work towards a sustainable future. So it goes into all social contexts. And honestly, after doing a lot of research about it, it encompasses basically just providing growth for students for your education. But you can see, as it says here, by reorienting education and helping people develop knowledge, skills, values, and behaviors needed for sustainable development. And so this also does incorporate like environmental issues, such as climate change and biodiversity, into teaching and learning. And as the bottom says, individuals are encouraged to be responsible actors who resolve challenges, respect cultural diversity, and contribute to creating a more sustainable world. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions before I move further upon what this said? Okay, so we're gonna watch this quick video, and basically it just explains more, and it goes towards a more environmental concept of it, but obviously including education for sustainability. So we're just gonna watch this real quick.
Here's the letter that Alexa wrote to her parents. Dear Mom, Dad, Ethan, and Dylan, I'm writing to you about something we're learning in school. It's called sustainability. And it means when people get what they want without trashing the world, so animals and other people can get what they want and need. Alexa was in a project of 17 school districts that I worked with some years ago, who were taking the lead in educating for sustainability, trying to figure out what the heck it was and how we would do it. And she was there. I cannot top this as a definition, but I can offer a model and maybe some examples to add some value to it. We see the economy and economic activity and financial capital as completely and utterly dependent on the social and human capital. Communities and legal systems and transportation systems, creativity, ingenuity, leadership. And both of those forms of capital are dependent on the natural capital upon which all life and all production and all of that activity depends. The farms, the forests, the fisheries, the water, the air, and so forth. And of course, it's all powered by the sun. Now to bring it home a little bit to the country and to New Hampshire. What does that actually mean? Some examples can be really useful. So at the national level, over 250,000 businesses have signed on to the American Sustainable Business Council to leverage changes, market changes, and policy changes to bring in the new green economy. Locally here, we've got the local food industry emerging. I met Jane at the farmer's market. You've got a corporate sustainable leadership program in the state. There are sustainable small business development initiatives. And of course, you have a very robust and growing and significant clean tech industry here. All of that is dependent on the sustainable community initiatives like Sustainable Plymouth and Portsmouth and Keene, higher education activity. You've got University of New Hampshire, Plymouth State, Antioch, the Sustainability Institute, and K-12 activity. We have here the Green Ribbon schools, you have Farm to School, Rethinking School Lunch, and of course, right down the road, we have Quarry Brook, which is a beautiful outdoor learning environment. All of that depends on nature. And apparently, Plymouth State is valuing these what we call ecosystem services, working on a project to assign a replacement value. What would it cost if we tried to replace the services we get for free from nature? And I also know that you have a 25-year water quality plan in New Hampshire, very forward thinking. So if we want all of those systems working well together, we like to say all systems are perfectly designed to get the results they get. If we want a healthy and sustainable future, we have to plan for it, we have to design for it, we have to buy and sell, farm, and of course we have to educate for it. Because we have to learn how to live well in our places so that we can contribute to their health and so that they can sustain us. We begin with the learner. Now, of course, the learner in K-12 schools, of course, it's the students, but it's also all of us and the parents and families of the students. And the individual learners are nested inside classrooms of learners, of young people and adults learning together. And they're nested inside learning organizations, whole schools that are learning and changing in real time, over time. And those schools that learn are nested inside physical plants with food and transportation and energy and buildings and schoolyards. And all of that is nested inside communities that learn. So we think schools and communities that learn is the most important leverage for moving toward the future we want.
So one of the quotes that stuck out to me and what she was saying is, if we want a healthy and sustainable future, we have to plan for it, we have to design for it, we have to educate for it. So conversation starter, do you agree with this? How could ESD help you, our community, and then our non-traditional students, the students that we serve in CCC? And you can answer one of these, all of them, like whatever you're comfortable with. Anybody's welcome to go first. This is awkward. Yeah.
I'll go if you want.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, you could. Okay, I would say, like, yeah, I agree with it. You definitely need like some kind of structure, outline things of how you're gonna get things done. And, like with the environment, but also like socially, how are we gonna educate people, everyone to, you know, get on board with like how we're gonna make it all better for everyone. Because you can't like do things like one person can't just be trying to do it. You know, we need to like educate everybody so that we can all be on the same page to moving toward like more sustainability, things like that.
I agree with what Jasmine said. I'd also like to just talk about like the question about non-traditional students. Like I feel like not education, I feel like the environmental issues that we're facing hit the hardest with non-traditional people in general. So I believe that, you know, having ESD could definitely help our non-traditional students.
Could anybody, or I'll just like ask the question, which is something I think at CCC we've been trying to figure out, like what are ways that we could like support our non-traditional students through the university, through education. I don't know if that's a really broad question. If nobody can answer it then, or has any ideas, then that's totally fine. But that's just a question that kind of came up in my head. Okie doke. Okay, well, I'm kind of gonna go more into this, but ESD, or just a sustainable education, which provides a sustainable future for students, I think could especially help our non-traditional students, what Jalen was saying, in a sense, or just non-traditional people in general, to provide them the resources that they need in, unfortunately, in the world we live in now, that they lack and are not provided equally. So when I was looking into this, and not just environmentally, but kind of promoting that growth, promoting that development, could be very beneficial for our students, our community, and those in need. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. Okay, so this is kind of a little different. I wanted to mix things up a little. Oh, this is confusing now. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this again. So basically there's like the clapping, the thumbs up, the heart, and then the little like party thing. So whenever you go, you can pick one of these questions. I would love if everybody could do a question. If you're not comfortable, totally understand. But just like do the little icon, whichever question you want to ask or you want to take and then answer.
I'll go first. So I'll do the clapping one. So how has your education been impacted by COVID? So for me, I'm a very like hands-on person, especially because I'm in the sciences and especially because like I'm a very visual learner. Not that doing online classes isn't visual, but it's just so much different when you're in a class environment, especially for like labs. It just doesn't compare. So it's been impacted negatively because I really, really, really hate online classes. Like I knew that from when we ended spring semester. So when I found out that we would be on online for the fall, I was really, really upset. Like, and then I also didn't want to go on campus because like it was a great opportunity to save money and stuff. So I just ended up staying home and sucking it up. But yeah, it's been a journey.
That's very understandable. Yeah, no, the online schooling is it's honestly really difficult. And especially if you're a hands-on learner. And I think just the ability to go to class, and just have like that interaction definitely even takes away for the even socialization piece of classes and wanting to go to class. Whereas now you can just hit a link and there you are. So, but thank you for that. Totally understandable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything she said because living on campus is such a different experience. It's like just the simple things like getting up to walk outside and go to your class. Just like little things like that to make you go a little insane. Like you don't go outside all day unless you like force yourself to go outside for literally no reason. It's very different. And like just not seeing people day to day, like you are just on your screen, not actually interacting with anyone because it's hard to interact in a virtual class versus like sitting next to someone and like introducing yourself.
Definitely felt that. Definitely felt that. Especially like the walking piece. Like I know I just said that, but you just reminded me, even like when Jalen and I, like we'd be like, oh my God, we trekked across campus. And like we used to be like, oh, we don't want to do it. But now I like severely miss it. So yeah, literally going to the dining hall is like a privilege at this point. So are you on campus now? Or are you at home?
I'm at home. Yeah.
Oh.
Hopefully I'm on campus next semester, but it's saving a lot of money. So it's not all bad.
Definitely understand that. Definitely understand.
I could go. So I have the heart. So like I do think like education is really important because like after my brother like graduated college and everything, like now he's like living in New York and like he's like started his career all because he had college and everything. He's like really inspired me to like take it really seriously because now he's so happy like where he is and he wants to do all these things. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like take this really seriously. I'm gonna do my best while I'm in college because there's so many people that wish they were in my position right now, like to be able to go to college. So like I think it's like so important that I'm like so lucky to be able to like have the opportunity. So yeah.
That's awesome. He's in New York? Wow. Where did he go to school?
He went to Pace University.
Oh, wow.
So like that was like right outside the city already, so he was kind of there, which was good. So
that's awesome. I definitely felt that, like seeing your siblings do it and you wanting to do it. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I'll go next. So I'm probably gonna go off of the heart as well. Like for me, as a first generation college student, education, it's kind of felt like a way like to break the cycle in the sense that I'm like the first person in my family to like go to college and get a degree. And it's been like a weird process because I'm really like the only one in my family who knows a lot about college, so I've had to like figure things out on my own. But it's been going well. I think I haven't really had like any major issues. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I don't know if anybody else is first gen. If you are, do you mind just like doing a thumbs up or whatever? or feel like they are. Because I also have met a lot of people that feel like they're first gen, but I don't even actually know how to do thumbs up on mine. But just because like although their parents did go to college, they might have went outside of the US, etc. But have you found any like resources at UConn during your freshman year, or any year that like you think helped you through that process of having to navigate college literally by yourself in a sense?
I haven't really like reached out to anywhere mostly. I was in this program in my high school called AVID. So it stands for like advancement via individual determination. So that was like a program for me as a first generation student to like help to like the very beginning of the college application process and stuff. But yeah, I haven't really reached out anywhere on campus for assistance. So but for the most part, I think I'm okay.
That's awesome that they have. That sounds like kind of like UConn Rising Scholars, which is something that I also did previous to college. So that's awesome. And always know that we're here too. If you ever need any resources, help, CCC is always here. And so just going to add that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Literally anytime. Does anybody want to go next? Okay. No one. Jalen, I'm looking at you. Yeah, I'm going to make you uncomfortable.
I can go. I just didn't want to answer like the questions that everyone's already answered, and I don't really have an answer for the other ones. But
you're fine.
Okay. For the heart one, like maybe not like a way to break the cycle, because both my parents were lucky enough to like attend college, but like it's been like the only thing. First of all, like they legitimately don't help me with anything, so I like filled out my FAFSA on my own. I filled out so many things on my own, but like college in my family is like you either go to college or I don't know, you're just not really looked at like the same, and it's just like a lot of pressure. So like this is like the only way, and it's like I picked my major based on like the fact that I wanted to go to another college, and I was like thinking to myself, like I want to go to law school. So I was thinking to myself, like, what if you don't get into law school, Jalen? Like, what are you gonna do? And honestly, I think I'm good right now because it's still what I want to do, but it's just how I feel.
You're doing great. Literally amazing. I know that for a fact. So that was the end of the presentation, but kind of I want to wrap it up into like why CCC wrap it or interconnect it or just connect it. Literally can't speak English. But education is important, period. And sustainable education is just a new way to look at it. And honestly, the point of this, I guess, wasn't so much to educate like we don't need to know everything about sustainable education, more to foster a conversation about why education is important. And I think we all know, but I also think for our students, the students that we serve, I think it's incredibly important, and tying that into how UConn, kind of what services UConn can provide, what resources UConn can provide, to provide a sustainable education for everybody, and one education that supports our students. So like I know the reason why I asked how has your education been impacted by COVID-19, is because I'm finding, or I think we're finding, that a lot of the struggles that are now arising for students, both financially, emotionally, academically, etc., are a lot of what our students, our non-traditional students have, and you guys can probably relate, have been going throughout, honestly, maybe their entire high school education, their middle school education, etc. So hearing your stories reminded me of others stories that I've heard from students in these situations that lack of sustainable education and the resources provided along with that. So I kind of wanted to tie that in. And so to end it off, I came up with this game, your initials, and like saying something good about yourself. So you know how like we used to do those things where you set out your name and you'd be like, M is for like marvelous, A, whatever, but just your initials, and say two positive qualities or just two things about yourself with your initials.
I guess I can go first. So my first name's Alyssa, starts with A, and it's just anything positive.
About you, or anything you want to say, but you're a baddie, so.
Dang, I should not have went first. This is lame, but the only word I could think of off the top of my head is amazing. So that's what we're gonna go with. And my last name is John, so that starts with J. For J, we're gonna go for joyful, only because that's something that I want to be more of. I want to be more joyful, because that can be kind of negative sometimes, not gonna lie.
I'll go next. So my first name is Dariana, so D. And I would say it's kind of awkward to talk like good about yourself. I'm like, is that even true? Anyways. Anyways, all I can think of is determined. And my last name is Moda, so M, and motivated.
Also, just to make a note, we should always talk good about ourselves. I'm all for, like, my friends already know, always trying to boost self-confidence, self-esteem, because we are beautiful. We all are, inside and out, and we deserve to hype ourselves up all the time.
Okay, so my first name's Jalen, and I'm going to use the word jolly. I like Christmas, so that's good. My last name's Brown, and I'm going to use the word blessed because I think I'm blessed with like.
Okay, I could go. So my first name's Jasmine. Like a J word, I guess I'm kind of like jumpy at times. Like I'm just like all bouncy and like if you catch me on a good day, I'm like crazy. But and then T, I don't know. I'm kind of like short, so I'm tiny, but like it's okay because you know I'm like confident with like how I am. So like that's just a thing.
All right, I'll go next. So for L, my name is Lauren, so that would stand for lovely, I guess. And for J, my last name is Jackson. I couldn't think of anything, so I had to look up words, and the word I found was jovial, which means like friendly. So I think that's pretty fitting.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I love hearing everybody talk so good about themselves, and everything's so true. So true. I didn't even know jovial was a word. Not gonna lie. So thank you for that. And thank you guys for all participating today. Bree, do you want to do yours? I'm not gonna do mine. Or do you want to?
If I'm going to do mine, you have to do yours.
Okay, you know what? Word. Bet.
Okay. Am I too loud?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm screaming at you. B, I'd probably say boss. People are like, what, boss? But I think I just get shit done even when I don't want to get it done. I just somehow make things work. Always find a solution. So boss. And then C, probably creative, music major. That's all. So yeah.
Okay, for me, I didn't even think about this one. It was my last name. For the first one, I would just probably say just motivated, just in general motivated. And then K, yeah, I couldn't really think of this one. So I just said killing it. Yeah, so that's what I thought, even though that's not a word. So, well, thank you guys all for being here today. I really appreciate it. I literally am so happy we're always able to get together. And before we go, does anybody have any questions, comments? All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great night and good luck for this week. I have to do an exam tonight, so see how that goes. Yeah.
Jasmine.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. We have psych together. I'm like 1,000% sure because I took my test yesterday too. And if you want to like group me your number, I can like add you to a study guide. I have like 2 other friends that are in it. And,
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll do that like right after this because that test was hard and I was like so sad after I took it because I was like, it was.
Yeah, no, it was difficult for sure.
All right. Well, you guys are going to ace your tests, and I hope you guys all have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.